There's a pattern you keep repeating even if you can't see it. You call it bad luck, you call it wrong timing, you call it maybe I'm just too much or not enough. But the truth is simpler and far more unsettling. You are drawn to emotionally unavailable people not because you want pain, but because pain is familiar, and familiarity feels like home, even when it hurts. You meet someone who feels distant, someone inconsistent, someone who gives you just enough to hope, but never enough to stay grounded, and something inside you awakens. Not comfort, but recognition. You feel something spark, something intense, something alive. But intensity is not love. It's survival mode dressed as connection. You don't realize it yet, but the attraction is not based on compatibility. It's based on the emotional puzzles you still haven't solved. Unavailable people activate the part of your mind that says, if I can get this person to choose me, maybe I'm finally worthy. And that belief, the one you rarely admit out loud, is the quiet engine behind the pattern. You aren't chasing them. You're chasing healing. But you're looking for it in the same emotional structure that broke you. Unavailable people feel magnetic because emotionally they mirror a wound you've carried for years. This isn't a failure, this isn't weakness, it's a pattern. One you learned long before you knew what love even meant. Your attraction didn't begin in adulthood. It didn't begin with your first heartbreak, your first betrayal, or the first person who didn't know how to love you. It began much earlier. Your nervous system learned what love felt like long before you learned what love should feel like. If love was inconsistent, your body learned to feel alert. If love was unpredictable, your body learned to feel cautious. If love came through silence, distance, or tornado or emotional absence, your body learned to confuse disconnection with normalcy. So when you meet someone emotionally unavailable as an adult, your mind says, this hurts. But your nervous system says, this feels familiar. And your body always wins. You end up repeating the same emotional story, not because you're broken, but because your body is trying to complete a sentence that was never finished. Unavailable people feel like a chance to rewrite the past. Deep down it feels like, if I can get someone who can't love to love me, maybe I can finally heal what I lost. But that's not healing, it's reenactment. Your nervous system is searching for closure, not companionship. And until you recognize this, you'll keep mistaking emotional hunger for attraction. You're not choosing pain. You're choosing the only emotional rhythm your body recognizes as home. But home can be rebuilt. Here's the truth almost no one tells you. When someone is emotionally distant, your brain becomes more attached, not less. This isn't romance, it's neurochemistry. Uncertainty triggers dopamine spikes, the same chemical associated with craving and addiction. You don't chase them because they're special. You chase them because the inconsistency keeps your brain hooked. When love is unclear, your mind fills in the gaps. You imagine potential, you fantasize about what could be, and this fantasy becomes more powerful than reality. You aren't attached to them. You're attached to the version of them your mind created. And here's the most painful part. You keep chasing them because you believe if you try just a little harder, they'll finally choose you. But emotionally unavailable people don't respond to effort, they respond to distance. Your value doesn't make them open up, your absence does. And that creates an even stronger trap. You become addicted to earning love instead of receiving it. This is not your fault. This is an emotional reflex, a survival pattern built long ago. You don't chase them because you love them. You chase them because part of you still believes you must work for love to deserve it. There comes a moment, usually quiet, often painful, when you finally realize the truth. You aren't in love with them. You're in love with the possibility of being loved by someone like them. That realization hurts, because it means the chase was never about them. It was about the version of you who still believes love must be earned, proven, or negotiated. Breaking this pattern doesn't begin with choosing better people. It begins with choosing a different version of yourself. A version that no longer tries to rescue love from places it was never growing. A version that no longer confuses emotional silence with emotional depth. A version that doesn't feel alive only when they're suffering. Healing starts when you ask one brave question. What part of me believes this is the only kind of love I deserve? And your nervous system will whisper the answer. Not in words, but in sensations. Tension, fear, restlessness. The feeling of waiting for affection like it's a permission slip. This is the moment everything begins to shift. Because once you see the pattern, you can no longer stay blind inside it. Breaking the attraction to emotionally unavailable people is not about rejecting them. It's about finally choosing yourself. It's retraining your nervous system to recognize safety as exciting, stability as desirable, consistency as love, not boredom. Because emotional unavailability feels thrilling at first, But that thrill is the body's alarm system, not the heart's guidance. The real transformation begins when you stop chasing the people who can't open their hearts and start choosing people who don't force you into survival mode. People who text back, people who show up, people who make room for you without hesitation. At first, this will feel unfamiliar, even wrong. But unfamiliarity is not danger. It's healing, because love should not make you anxious. Love should not make you wait in confusion. Love should not make you earn basic affection. The moment you understand this, you don't attract emotionally unavailable people anymore. You stop chasing them. You stop desiring them. You stop romanticizing the pain that used to feel like passion. You finally break the pattern, not by force, but by clarity. And clarity is the first real form of love you give to yourself.